Sure. Just felt like every time you would answer, they had a response, and that the fifth inning, the 3 runs. I mean, just how difficult is it against a team like that to be clawing, playing from behind when you guys fell behind early today?
Well, it's really difficult because their bullpen's amazing. And I think you got to see the electricity coming out of that bullpen with really good off-speed pitches as well. I mean, you got guys that are throwing 60 and 70% breaking pitches, and they throw 97 miles an hour. So it's a lot of future big leaguers. But we fought them pretty good. But it was discouraging. But after what's gone on the last couple of days, there was nothing to do except fight, and our guys did.
So I guess it sounds like a little bit of encouragement. I know obviously the sweep and the results not what you want. I mean, what could you see from the guys maybe during the game and then afterwards when you talk to them?
Well, during the game, what I saw was guys that kept thinking they were going to win the game. They could stay in it. We pitched just good enough from the middle of the game on to stay in it, and kept it within 2 and 3 runs and felt like we had a shot. What do you do? I mean, we had two home run balls that got blown down, and they were both gone, no doubt. And Turner's ball, I've never seen a ball take a left turn like that in my life here. It just took off. Right when he hit it, we all knew it was gone. And it's like the wind would go out and it would go across. It'd go out and go across. And, about the time he hit that, I guess it was shooting straight across. But, I like their fight. And, the effort was really good in the dugout. They were into it. And, it looked like Robinette tied it up there in the 8th. When he hit it, we all thought it was gone. And he didn't backspin it, but he hit it in the middle to the top of the ball and had a little overspin. But with a little less wind, that ball hits the net. It hits the building, and it's just kind of like sometimes when it doesn't go your way, it doesn't go your way. So we just got to keep fighting.
You said yesterday in your post game that you just hadn't gotten that big hit yet. What do you kind of want to see more out of your players whenever that big hit situation arises?
Well, I need them to have a good at bat. You're not always going to get a hit, but you need to have a good at bat. And we got a couple of big hits because we scored some runs with 2 outs today. But there was a couple times early in the game we needed to get another hit, one more hit. It seemed like we didn't have a ton of runners on base today, but. We got some guys in, and we scored pretty quick. It was kind of disappointing that we just couldn't put together that one big inning, get that 3-run inning. We hit the home run, by Aloy. That was big because that was on an 0-2 pitch that hung. It basically was the same pitch that Ryder struck out on. He made a little bit of a mistake there. It was not down, and Ryder just swung through it.
You had a really good outing from Ethan today. What did you kind of see from him today?
Well, he gave us a chance to hang around, honestly. I mean, because they were getting after the first 2 guys. Between those 2 guys, gave up 12 hits and 6 runs, and it could have been a lot more. Ethan came in and settled it down. I think, you take away the one inning where he walked 3. That was the only 3 walks we had the whole game. But he got out of the inning. So good for him, and he can do a lot of things. He can close the game for us. He could be a starter. He can take it, at least three innings. So we'll see.
They got after Florida State pretty good on Tuesday, pretty good team. How much do you think this weekend was just running into a real good hot team?
Well, I think obviously they're playing really well. They were kind of playing a desperate team that got a really good win at home against their rival, one of their non-league rival, obviously, in Florida State. Shut them out. I heard it was emotional, and they had a bad weekend last weekend on the road, and they were like, we got to go take care of business. And I think the pitchers did a great job for them, but their offense did a great job as well. And it started Friday when they got our starter out in the second inning, and it just kind of snowballed our bullpen, and their bullpen was amazing.
3 games out of a 30-game season. What's the key to keeping morale high as you move on in the SEC?
Well, we still have 21 more of these to go, and so we got to find a way to start winning some. And then if you can get on a little bit of a roll, you never know when it's going to be. And the positives of the weekend are a couple of freshmen played really good today and swung the bat and are a threat and made nice plays in the field. And You know, we're going to need that because we might have lost one of our outfielders today.
Rudenbar, as your leadoff guy, I mean, you talked before about the competitive at-bats he gives you. What did you think about what he gave you there in that leadoff role?
I mean, he kind of started from his first at bat, 10 pitches and base hit. I mean, he had fouled off a lot of pitches, worked full count, and then got a base hit. And even if he wouldn't have got a base hit, it was a great at bat because he got that pitcher probably a little frustrated. He's thinking, man, that's just one hitter. I've already thrown 10. And but I thought he did a really good job hitting up there.
Did you say you lost one of your outfielders today?
Yeah, Ruiz got hurt in center field when he jumped for that home run ball.
What exactly happened to him?
I don't know. Go back and watch the video. We didn't know what happened either, but he hurt himself, and it isn't good. We don't know yet 100%.
Dave, when you look at the way that the pitching performed this weekend, especially the starting pitching, and Fisher continuing to struggle, is there any thought about tinkering with that weekend rotation going into this Auburn series?
We'll definitely tinker with it. The only problem is we play Thursday and not Friday. It's a shorter week, so it's hard to make a change on a short week. We might make a change, and we'll definitely TBA Game 3. That'll be 100%.
What are you seeing right now from Fisher? What are his big struggles at the moment?
Well, they're barreling him up pretty good. I don't know if he's throwing enough fastball where he wants it to make the change up and the breaking ball look good. He's not commanding it like he did 3 weeks ago. I mean, that's about 3 outings in a row that it's been a little rough.
With the changing lineup and having different people come in and pitch hit and pitch run like Pompey and New, how does that kind of prepare you for later in the season whenever you might need a guy to come off the bench and deliver a big hit?
Well, anytime you can get somebody some work, definitely, you get to see what you see, and hopefully it goes well, and then you draw some confidence from making that move. And some of the guys that came off the bench today are going to be starting a lot because, we might platoon a little bit if we lost Ruiz for the year, and we'll see.
Stewart gave you a couple hits there today. Looked like one of the better days he's had at the plate. What did you think about his performance?
Yeah, I like the way he attacked the ball a little bit. Especially first inning, he drove that ball the other way. They run a shift on him, and he just hit it over there and hit the ball really well in batting practice today going the other way. It really has all weekend, which is really good to see. We all know he's got pull power. We got to see him hit an oppo homer on last Tuesday. Just wanted to be a threat. Just needs to be a threat right in the middle of the lineup, drive in runs. But it's been the biggest issue probably the last 3 weeks is we haven't driven in runs like we need to. Guys got to start, heading up. We need some RBIs.
I guess Micah wasn't feeling well before the game, and then he had come in when Damian got hurt. Just he kind of gutted out for you this afternoon.
Yeah, Micah wasn't. Micah was starting, and Damian wasn't. And then Micah wasn't feeling good during BP. Come to find out he was throwing up last night. 'Cause they don't tell me, they want to play. And I actually found him during batting practice because he wasn't doing the base running, and he was. I don't know what he was doing, but I found him. I think he was in the bathroom, and he just said he wasn't feeling good. And I said, okay, we'll go from there. And I went upstairs and changed the lineup, and then he came in when the injury happened.
I think 7 of your next 8 games are on the road. Given this weekend's results, is that scary? Is that something, maybe a galvanizing thing to go on the road and get away from home? I mean, how do you kind of approach that?
Well, I don't see it as scary, and I don't want the players to feel that way either. This is just a game. I see it as an opportunity to go play on the road and play some good teams and get some wins and get better. Like I said, there's 21 conference games left, and all of our, midweek games are, you got Missouri State a couple times. You got Little Rock, I think Northwestern State. These are teams that can beat you, and they want to beat you bad. We don't have any so-called, games where we can just put a bunch of different guys out there and experiment. We're going to have to play well to win. So we don't have anything in front of us that we can really go, okay, that's going to be, that'll be easier. And a lot of times when you think that way, you get beat anyway. So, we started talking about what we had going forward. Oh gosh, right after the game last weekend, we got Florida, then we're going on the road for everywhere, for a couple of weeks, and this is going to be a tough stretch. We need to find a way.
Is Gibbler a guy that may be an option to be that third starter, or do you like his role and what he's doing right now?
No, he could be a starter. Yeah, we play catch up too much. We're behind, and it's hard. So we've got to figure out offensively we need to score early, and on the mound we need to get people out early. And I don't know if we ever had the lead this whole series. I don't remember, but it doesn't seem like it.
You had a lot of strikeouts over this weekend. However, in the middle innings and later innings today, you cut those down and you started scoring runs. What was the difference of approach you saw in those innings?
Well, I don't know so much the approach was a lot different. The pitchers were different. They still had high-octane stuff and good off-speed pitches, but I thought our guys just did a good job. It's baseball. It's a lot of ups and downs, and maybe it's the guys I had in the lineup. They don't, took a few guys out to strike out a little bit, put some guys in that maybe don't strike out as much. And, that might cut your numbers down a little bit. But at the same time, I just think they were just fighting hard.
What did you say to Pompey during their timeout in the ninth inning?
I said, keep an eye on us because we're probably going to – if he's showing what we think he's going to show, we're going to run you. Make sure you get out there and get a good jump. And I thought maybe one of the first pitches they might throw a fastball just to pitch out, or throwing up and out, and he would go quicker to the plate because our report said he's like 1.25 to 1.4. Well, I was getting him at 1.44 and 1.5 throwing that breaking ball, so to me he wasn't paying attention to him at all. So I think they might have been more concerned about Helfrich hitting a 2-run homer and walking him off than us stealing the base. So we decided to go. I don't know if his jump was really that good, to be honest with you, but he wasn't going to get thrown out, I didn't think.